Good morning, KMMA tribe, friends, and family. Stephen Del Castillo of Krav Maga Martial Arts coming to you here. And today's message can be a little less formal than normal because I got three things I want to talk to you about. And I purposely have not put them in a great deal of structure because I just want to kind of freestyle with you a little bit here on a few of my thoughts from the weekend. First one is that I went Saturday after an amazing day of training at the dojo. We had our certified instructor training for the next generation of instructors, and then my instructor training with my current generation of instructors, which is an awesome day of training. But then right after that evening, I went to St. Pete Beach and got to celebrate my best friend's 54th birthday with him. Now, Paul has grown up with me, and we have been friends since we were very young. It was an interesting point of controversy that night, rather how young that was. Paul and I seem to remember it being very early, like 4, 5, 6 years old. His mom thinks that pretty sure we were like 7 or 8 when we first met. And there was even discrepancy about what schools we actually went to. So very, very interesting side story there. But, Paul and I have been friends for, between 4 and 5 decades at any rate. And, actually, I also wanted to talk and give a shout out to his little brother, Mark, today. Mark has then, of course, been a friend for about the same amount of time. And Marky's just a little younger than us. Paul and I both being 54, and Marky's a little younger. I don't know if he's 50 yet. But he's a great guy. He's a smart guy. He's a successful banker, and he's a funny guy. But anyway, you know what I didn't know? I didn't know he was a follower. He's a fan. He started telling me about some of these recordings, and the funny thing was he calls them devotionals, which I really appreciated. Probably in one interpretation of the word, they are. When I think of devotionals, though, I think of religious type things. This isn't a religious type thing or a worship type thing in any way, other than the fact that I am doing what I was called to do. And I could make an argument that if we're doing what we're called to do, then our work itself is a special kind of worship. But Mark, I just wanted to give a shout out to you. I appreciate you giving me that validation that this is work that you're enjoying. It means a lot to me every time somebody talks about something that they've read that I've written or listened to that I've recorded, because of course I don't do it for myself. Well, not totally for myself. I do sometimes learn a lot just listening to what I have to say, but I appreciate the edification. I really do. The other thing that I wanted, actually, before I jump to the other thing, let me talk about this thing that I wrote about this morning and that applies to the 4 or 5 decade relationship. Time is the most valuable and least renewable, most important of all the resources that we manage. Because you got the time that you got today, and every moment once is gone, it is gone. You can't replace it again. And none of us even knows how much we have left. So it's so important that we are investing that time wisely. And I believe that there are lots of different ways that we can invest the time. For me, some of the most important investment of time are when I'm doing these things, or teaching a classroom, or certainly sewing into my staff and my team, the things that are part of my purpose, my passion, my calling, and my legacy. These are, of course, an investment of my time. When I'm working and sewing into, of course, my own kids, my wife, my mother, my family, this is, of course, an important investment in legacy. And then, contrary to popular belief, though, sometimes because I talk this way, because I believe that the time is to be invested, I don't like the words wasted, spent, or even past. Time is always invested. But sometimes people misunderstand that and think that means that one must be working all of the time. Having had the wisdom that comes from 54 years now, already started on the next one. One of the things that I have discovered is that some of the other things that are really, really worth investing time, because they're as fleeting as time itself, are memories and relationships, of course. Because the older you get, the more you cherish. If you're a parent, you know what I'm talking about. You cherish periods in your kid's life. If you're an entrepreneur, you know what I'm talking about. You can think of the hard times the good times, the challenging times, and all those things work together to create the upward trajectory of life and the victories that come from the failures, the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat, if you remember that. So the memories, making great memories is an investment. And relationship being, of course, the most enduring of all, because we know that the older that we get, one of the most valuable resources for sure will be the quality of the relationships we have formed. So I'm really happy for Paul and Ruth and Mark and Jen and all of them, Ninja and all of them, and all my other amazing friends and family and KMMA Black Belts and students and staff. You know that I am always so grateful for all of you, for the relationships, for the memories, and for the legacy that we're all building together. And then in closing, this is the last thing I want to talk about. This is actually what I taught. One of the things that I taught about in my, I don't need to read it. I know what it was that I taught about in my certified instructor training. That was my certified. Yeah, it was my CIT. In my CIT this Saturday, that I wanted to share because I realized that the ideas behind this thing, while it's important for our school and our academy and our mission, which is to prepare students to survive and thrive in any situation and empower them to lead into the future. Well, the first thing I taught about was the one rule. And the one rule for all of my sensei is to be a good finder. And what that means is that they should be good finders, not just of what they can work on, what the student needs to work on to become better, while that is important, but also what the student's already doing right. What can I praise? What is praiseworthy? What can I speak out in this young person or this person, any person, that maybe they don't even yet discover themselves? So being a good finder is about finding the positive in the students in this context. But I realized, it really, really applies in every single area of our life. What if you lived your life looking for the positive and then speaking it with every person in which you have a relationship, in which you spend time? And the second thing was the 3 contact rule. And the 3 contact rule is that every student should get appropriate physical contact, eye contact, and be called by name. And again, we could talk about all of the many environments, personally, professionally, academically, in which those 3 contact rules, relationally, those 3 contact rules still come. Look, even me talking to you, if I was doing it like this and I'm like not making eye contact while I'm talking to you, right? That's not quite as powerful. And if we were speaking one-on-one, I would certainly also be calling you by name. So I think maybe in summary for today, because this is already a 8-minute message. Congratulations if you've been with me to the end. I think in summary, I will say these things. The things that matter, matter. And they matter whether we're talking about a personal relationship or a professional relationship or a familial relationship. We still need to treat each other with the courtesy and integrity and respect that is important and relevant to all of these, so that the investment of time, the investment in the relationship, is something that is powerful and does leave a legacy. Prepare to live, empower to lead. I am so grateful that you are spending this time with me, that you have invested this time with me. Love to hear from you. Make it a great week and a great day.